Here we have a black acacia, 6 or 7 inches in diameter, but we see this large defect running up and down the main stem here. We're seeing how soft and pithy this wood is. Our wound is perhaps 6 feet long or more, running from about 3 feet from the ground to about 9 feet up. And the tree is actively closing this site. You can see cambium calluses rolling in, trying to close this wound up. Yet it has not been able to do so yet. This may take many more years. However, the core of the tree is already showing decay. This wood, unprotected by bark, is vulnerable to decay and decomposition. This is, we think, a death injury. It's just a matter of time before this kind of an injury turns into a tree failure. What we're going to have eventually is a decaying core on a hidden wound. We do have living cambium rolling in an effort of the tree to close up this wound. Eventually the tree could potentially close all the way up. We may no longer be able to see this injury, yet the decay is actively taking place inside the main stem. So this is a tree that's in trouble. Its future is kind of already destined. We will finally find the tree failing mechanically, not vascularly, because we have lots of active circulation layers here. The tree is able to sustain itself and grow new leaves and expand its canopy, and the top of the tree looks perfectly fine and healthy. Yet it's all mounted on this decaying main stem. So the tree will probably fail mechanically under wind loads. Many trees are able to wall off injuries like these, and the wood is strong enough and firm enough and slow enough to decay that even large cavities can be tolerated if the tree is able to successfully wall off the injury. In the case of this species, we feel that the decay will not be able to be completely walled off successfully. And so ultimately we have a structural issue with a tree like this. The tree is still small enough that it doesn't represent an enormous hazard, but it does have a risk assessment attached to it. And if this tree were to fail, it could damage other valuable trees in the landscape. We've got a nice incense cedar next to it. We've got a nice young oak tree here. We don't want them to be damaged by the failure of this trunk. We're going to experiment again with this wound. I think we're going to go ahead and clean the soft and pithy tissue away, treat the wound with our orange oil beeswax, and just track the tree's progress, its ability to cope with this rather extensive injury. If you have a tree with a major injury, it would be a good idea to have it inspected by an arborist for risk assessment or hazard assessment. If an injury or defect is detected, you can respond to that and make the corrections or the adjustments or the removal if necessary. But in the case of this young tree, we see that it already has a serious injury within its vascular system, within the main stem. So rather than invest in this tree for the long term, we might want to call this out and install something that is appropriate, something that is within the site limitations of climate and wind loads, and go with that.